When he started his run for city council, Charles Pugh made one thing clear to voters. He was going to be different.
We need new leadership and a new vision. Pugh and you changing Detroit.
Transparency would be job one in the Pugh administration, and he told that to nearly everyone who would listen. He told the New York Times that the city needed, quote, a higher standard of ethics and transparency. He even took to the web, telling Detroiters,
we believe in a spirit of transparency and keeping you fully informed.
But when the Action News investigators pressed Pugh about a nonprofit fund he started last March, the Pugh and You Fund, the council president changed his tune.
You promised transparency when you were running for office, and yet your staff tells us you don't want to disclose and won't disclose the donors or the specifics of where the money is spent. How can that be transparency?
Well, we're going to report the names, to the IRS.
But not to the public.
Well, let me just say this. We are doing the right thing, Scott. This fund is going to be used the way other folk are using their funds.
We assume he's not talking about these folks, ex-Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick and his former Chief of Staff, Christine Beatty. Kilpatrick set up the Kilpatrick Civic Fund, the same kind of nonprofit as Pugh. Christine Beatty was the treasurer. Kilpatrick was supposed to use donations to educate voters and enrich neighborhoods. But federal investigators say Kilpatrick used the money to enrich himself, to pay his family, for personal travel, and even yoga lessons, which is why when Pugh held a fundraiser in July, it caught our attention. $500 per person, $5,000 per table to attend a breakfast at the posh Rooster Tail restaurant. $500 for bacon and eggs? So what's the money for?
The fund is to basically take some of the burden off of the staff budget, which is city money, to do other things.
Things like traveling on city business, Pugh says, but again, he won't make public the names of donors or how the money is being spent.
Have you ever heard a good argument not to disclose everything?
No. I don't believe there is one.
George Smith is an expert in nonprofit funds like Pew's. What has Smith and others so concerned is the secrecy.
These organizations are getting abused nationwide. There's a lot of political people who have set these up because it's a way to circumvent the rules.
While a donation to a politician's campaign fund is by law publicly disclosed, donations to these nonprofits are not.
Theoretically, could this be a way for a politician to hide a kickback?
Absolutely. Absolutely, it's a way to hide a kickback. If you're not getting a tax write-off, you better believe in the heart, or you're getting something else that we don't know about.
Some of the people who came to your breakfast were owners of topless bars in the city.
I think so. Yeah.
You don't find that troubling?
Why would that be troubling?
Well, because they're in the middle of this big, huge debate. Their business is under fire by new rules. City council, has control of their fate to a degree.
We've already passed that ordinance.
But it's still out there, right? And it was not as strong as it was originally intended to be.
It was way stronger than some people wanted it to be.
So who else paid $500 for bacon and eggs? Pugh won't say. But as my producer was leaving Pugh's office, he spotted this big birthday card signed by donors at the birthday bash and others.
Hold on just a moment. Hold on.
The councilman who preached transparency wasn't feeling so transparent. He grabbed the card and whisked it away from our cameras.
This would be giving you the list.
Why wouldn't you want to tell everyone? That's part of the price you pay for tax exemption, is to show everyone, lay down your cards and show everyone what you're playing.
Charles Pugh says he plans to use some of his nonprofit money for traveling because he doesn't have enough in his council budget after paying staff. It's worth noting that Pugh's annual budget is $876,000. And Pugh's predecessor, Ken Cockrell, says he routinely ran a budget surplus, giving money back to the city's general fund at the end of the year. In 2007, he returned $117,000. Scott Lewis, Channel 7 Action News.
By the way, Scott has been putting this story together for nearly a month now, and just about an hour ago, Charles Pugh's office released this statement reversing their position. The statement reads, every December, we will release an annual report disclosing the names of contributors and the amount of their donations. We will also disclose how funds are spent. However, for legal purposes, any contributor who donated to past fundraisers, we will release only the names of those who have granted us permission. Moving forward, as future fundraisers are planned, prior to making a donation, contributors will be notified that their names will be released.